Hello everyone, my name is SiC. Welcome back to Anno 1800. Now I've been live streaming this game on Friday for about 3 hours, but the beta is almost over. It's going to run until February the 4th and today it's February the 3rd. Now I figured I wanted to do a more episodic format for a while. And I also think that if I go from the live stream save straight into an episodic format, that's a bit too much for people to catch up on. So we're going to start a fresh game. Actually, I have to, because the game was crashing for me. I had to get rid of some of the files that also included the save files. So yeah, we're going to have to start a fresh game. But, well, the game is still fresh to me, so I don't mind. And it would be interesting to see another completely randomized island from the strain. So let's click on new game here, and this time around we'll go for less guidance. Now, right now it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I probably won't have time to play it all tomorrow. So I have to make the most of this evening and record as many episodes as I possibly can. So I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff straight back to back, basically. Anyway, let's select a character here. Let's maybe try someone else. This guy with the sweet mustache, maybe. I don't know who he is in the game. I think he's one of the harder AI choices. I'm not entirely sure, but it's fine. We're going to pick a nice logo here. Something that shows exploration, maybe. What about this? The sextant and binoculars. That looks pretty cool. We can go for a green one, maybe? Yeah, why not? Uti Heckler. No, we're still going to be SiC. Alright, let's continue on. And we will be starting on advanced as well. So we will have 50,000 starting capital, average world and islands, an average mineral deposits, average fertility, half construction refunds, and there is going to be a monetary cost for building relocation. Now, that's absolutely fine to me. I think this is like, you know, it's normal mode. This is normal mode, but I don't know. This is the middle one, so that to me makes this easy, that makes this normal, that makes this hard. In my mind. Let's just start. Alright, so it begins. We are in Lickwick. Interesting town name. It also seems that my controls are reset, so I'll go and fix that right now. Alright, so that's all fixed. I can now control the camera with WASD. So let's have a look at this island. It seems like we have a lot of build space. That's really cool. So this is a really big map. We can go for a long time on this. Looks like we have oil and clay deposits over here. 2 clay deposits, in fact, another one over there. Now, a really cool change in Anno is that we can now start building anywhere on the island that we please. And I think that we are going to start building our settlement over here somewhere. Or we could do it in the center, but then we would have the industry around it. So, yeah, why not? Let's go for marketplace. Right about here. We can go a long distance in different directions from here, it seems. I was expecting like this building to be a little bit bigger compared to the area around it, but wow, This is a really big space. Very cool. Right, so let's drag out a couple of houses over here.
Reached a new milestone.
Oh, that was quick. Yeah. Agriculture, the age of agriculture. So we got some houses. Of course, we are going to need timber as well. And we are going to start gathering that over here. Now, playing from the beta, I know that... this is interesting. Like the time increases the further... Like, I don't know what makes the time increase right there, but... Let's leave some space for a road down the coast. This looks pretty good. Right, and we're going to drag a road out to here. And then of course we are going to need a timber sawmill. So we will build that one... Well, we can build it right here, I suppose. There we go. Alright, and I think it's a good idea to start with 2 of these. So maybe... Yeah. There's another one right down there. And we are going to drag a road out like so. Now, let's have a look where the radius starts. So the radius starts about there. It's absolutely fine. And we can have another timber mill, or sawmill, right about there. I think that's a pretty good start there. Now, and of course, the road extends to about there. Now, unfortunately, when I was playing the live stream, no sound was recorded from the game, but that should be fixed now. Alright, so we need workers already. What is going on here? Residents are leaving. Ah, we need to connect this up to the main area. Right, now there's a thing that is necessary now in Anno 1800 that was not necessary in Anno 1404, which is the last Anno game that I really got into. So in Anno 1404 you could just like make an area over here and it wasn't connected to the harbor, and we could make an area over here and they would all work together, even if you didn't have that road connection. But now in Anno 1800 we really do need it. That's absolutely fine. So what are we waiting for here? They are planting forests. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Of course, we need to plant some forest. Now let's have a look at this building. We have the postcard view. And this is something that I really love in Anno. Gets you a nice, close and scenic look at the world. Man, look at those mountains. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is a beautiful game. And our ship right there in the harbor. There is a little bit of fog of war, but man. This is one fantastic looking game.
Attention for the Admiral.
Alright, let's send our ship out on exploration duties. Now we're going to need some more people, it seems. So we're going to construct some more farmer residences. Except we lack the wood to do so. So that is something that we have to work on, but we can place one. Because each house costs about 2 wood, and we can see the amount of wood we have up there. So right now we have 1. That 1 extra building was enough to unlock some more buildings. Now, right now, that only is the fishery, which we could place down right there, or here, depending on what we would like. But we have a long stretch of coastline.
To meet you. I'm Bente Jorgensen, chairlady of the Jorgensen Foundation. I can't wait to work with you.
Cool, so we met Bente Jorgensen, one of the AI players, or competitors, I should say. Now, we are still waiting on timber, so we cannot make the fishery quite yet. Now, I do think we have enough workers, yeah, because that's another thing that has changed in Anno 1800. We have a worker force now. So, these buildings actually won't operate fully until we get the workers that are required to work at a full capacity. So, in the case of the fishery, there's a maintenance cost of minus 40 gold per turn, and we are already at minus 47, so that will put us at minus 87. That is something we will have to remedy in the future. But it also costs 25 farmers. And right here we can see our farmer workforce. So we have about 42 people that are still in need of a job. So we got some of the wood that we required. Requires 3 coastline. Okay, so let's make the fishery. And of course we also need to connect it up by road. So we can do that like so. Looks a little bit better, I suppose. Now, another change that is new to Anno 1800 is that worker cards no longer come from the warehouse. that was the case in Anno
Where did you
1404.
say you'd come from?
But in this case,
This is the way the farmers ride, hobbledy-hoy, hobbledy-hoy. This is the way the farmers ride, hobbledy-hobbledy-hoy. Hey!
right. So, as you can see, there is now a connection between these two buildings. That is the yellow line. They go with these carts from here to there. Now, the way that works now
New milestone.
is we can click on this and we can see there are 2 loading ramps, and they're used right now. If we have multiple carts coming from different buildings at the same time, he can only service 2 of these carts at the same time, and the other ones will have to wait for a while before they can continue or go back. Now, we can upgrade the harbor, but we need a certain amount of workers before we can do so. And of course, then we also need materials. Right. Now, another thing that we need: worker clothes and schnapps. There's a difference between these two now as well.
She had bunions, silly Orncoot. So I says, keep your feet in health or you can't work, and your 6 little mouths will go hungry.
Right. So we got needs and we got happiness, and that is a little bit of a change compared to Anno 1404 as well, where basically every item you could make was required for these guys to level up to the next tier. Now, in this particular case, we only need the needs, and they have 3. They need access to the marketplace, they need to have access to fish, and they need to have access to work clothes. If they have those, they should be able to level up, but there's also a happiness tab. And this is comprised of several things. For example, the news has influence on them as well, so every once in a while a newspaper will show up. And the newspaper can have a good or bad influence on the people. And that is very significant. At the same time, they have a certain working conditions. We can actually manually increase the workload and make them unhappy, but have increased productivity. There is pollution as well, so if you have a lot of dirty factories on the island, the people will become unhappy from that. Island peace, so if you are at war, they will not be happy for obvious reasons. And then we have missing goods, for example, the schnapps. Now, the schnapps is something they will pay extra credits for, and that is very useful indeed, but it also provides some happiness to them. And then eventually, after we reach 150 farmers, they would also like a pub in the town. That's a little bit of a bug, because this is free. Okay, ready for construction. Click it like that. Okay, that works. Okay, sure. Now we know how that works. We can continue a little bit. So I think this would be a nice little construction area for work clothes and the schnapps. Now this, like I said, is in need, and it requires a certain amount of workers as well as maintenance costs. I wonder, let me click on one of these buildings, because I wonder if these needs also provide us with credits. Yes, they do. Okay. That is good. So this is something they absolutely need. And I happen to know that a field for this stuff is about 3 tiles wide. So I'm going to place that building right there. And then we need sheepfolds. We can place them in this fashion. Right, we can make a little road around it. And then we are going to need the framework knitters, which will actually produce the work clothes. Right, so we are going to place that one down right there. Now these guys will work one-on-one, and that is absolutely fine, but they do need access to, let's have a look, the small warehouse. Now that requires a bit of wood, as well as 500 gold, and also of course the maintenance cost, but does not require actual people to work there, which is fine. That's actually good. But we do need this guy to collect all the goods from the different farms that we will build around it in this square. Alright, these guys will actually deliver it to the harbor, which is fine, but these guys will have to walk for a very long time to get anywhere. So let us make sure that we have a small warehouse, and we can maybe place it in the center there. That's about the center, I think. I could count the squares, but I'm not going to. This feels like it is about the center of the square. So we're going to put it down right there. Now, let's make some roads here. Yeah, that will work nicely. So we can build the other farms around it, and that should do the trick. Now we can also produce schnapps, of course, and we still have workers that we can use there. So we need 20 for the potato farm, And then we need 50 for the schnapps distillery. We don't have that, because we need 70 in total. We have a total of 34 right now. So that means we need some more residences. We can have enough timber for 3 more right now. We have to wait a little bit. Now, of course, these guys do need access to the road as well. So let's set up a road for them. Meanwhile, a little bit more timber came in. We can drag these guys out as well. And hopefully these extra houses will be enough to get us what we need. Right, now more timber came in, we can actually construct these guys. Now these guys hold up to 10 workers, or 10 farmers, but they start with just the one, and slowly but surely the number of people in the house will actually increase. So right now it's at 47, now it's 55. This will go up and up and up for a little while. But I think we will have enough for the total of 70 that we require for the schnapps. Now one thing that is important to note is that we do not actually need to transport the goods from here to the marketplace. Once the goods arrive in the small warehouse, they will actually be able to be consumed from the marketplace without any more transportation. I wonder if somebody could make a hard mode for this game that would actually add the ability or the net that requires that transportation of goods from here to there, because that would be quite interesting indeed. You could have like relay stations where things are going to be brought back and forth, for example. But hey, we have enough people now, so let's make ourselves a potato farm. Now we can make that here, I suppose. Now one thing that we have that's different from here is that we need to make the potato fields. We need 72, because the potato field is just the one tile. And we cannot place it on this side of the road because it needs to be connected to that building right there. So let's drag this out. As you can see, it is now available for us to be built, and we can actually put it down like so. That's 72 fields. Module limit reached. Very nice. Now of course the schnapps needs to be distilled in the schnapps distillery. We could place that one down right there, right across the road, so they can bring it back and forth very easily and very quickly, and then from here the schnapps will be delivered to the warehouse almost immediately as well. But man, this is so cool looking, right? Postcard view again. Another thing that is new to Anno 1800, it doesn't really have a gameplay impact, but it is really nice for the visual aspect of it, is that we have elevation now. So you can actually see the terrain curve upwards towards the mountain and go down here towards the coast. And in Anno 1404 the maps were just flat and you had the mountains just kind of stick up. And it's not a huge elevation, but it's still something that is a nice detail to look at.
Game saved.
Game is saved again. This looks so nice, and look, the little ship there. That reminds me, we have a ship out there on the coast that isn't doing anything.
Ready for orders.
It's very easy to forget. Now, Bente Jorgensen over here is one of the AI, and we can have a diplomatic relationship with her. It seems like she already built a pub.
Gives the people the means to help themselves.
And this should be one of the easier AIs to play against, because she's very open and friendly and she cares about the people. And like the harder AIs, they care less about that. They're more about raw productivity and so on. Now we can build the pub as well. It's further decreased in maintenance costs, but it fits nicely in this little area here. So I think that is exactly where we're going to place it. Now another thing you might notice is that it surfaces a certain green area, but the green decreases in color the further east you go. So right here everything is kind of bright green. It kind of works, you know, but the further down you go, as you can see, the productivity of this building becomes less and less. So people down here by the road would still be serviced by this pub, but they would have to walk further, and they would get less happiness from that. Alright, so let's see how we want to turn this building. Right? It's a small detail, but it's something that's always a little bit nicer to do. So it seems we have that entrance on this side, facing the people this time. Now we can make a road around it. Another thing that I like to do is to have a little bit of a line of trees. Let's see, we can have fully grown trees for 75 bucks a pop. So we can place those along the back there, so we don't have that empty dead space. And it looks nice to have a little bit of extra greenery in the middle of your town. Now everything that we need should be available to the farmers right now. And the balance is slowly but surely climbing up towards the positive again, which is really good because, well, we're losing money, we're not selling anything right now. Let's have a look. We found another unsettled island, that's cool, another one over here.
New orders?
And we could actually build one of these settlements over here as well, because we have the materials to do so. Now, I want to have a look at the islands a little bit more before we make a decision, because right now, let's have a look. We can grow potatoes in Liquick, we can grow grain, and we have an abundance of fur. So, we can have grain, fur, and grapes on this island over here. We can have potatoes, hops, and niter deposits on this island, as well as, of course, clay deposits, iron deposits, coal deposits, and zinc deposits. Now, but one of the things we need, I think, earlier than that, is red peppers.
Looks forward to your patronage.
So that is something that we're going to be looking for. Now, by now, we've built all the things that the farmers want, except the only thing that we don't have yet is a fire station. Now, it might be a good idea to build one now, actually, because, well, these buildings do burn down occasionally, or they can catch fire. And these firemen actually require a time to train. And this is what kind of messed with me in the live stream, is the fact that these guys, I popped this down when there was a fire, and of course then they needed to be trained, so half of my village was burning. And these guys are taking their sweet time.
I present my humble duty to you, and am confident you will transcend your present circumstance.
Sir Archibald Blake. Alright. And of course we found Madame Kahina here in Nickleby. This is one of the traders that we could trade with. And then we found Scarsbag under Sir Archibald Blake, who is another trader that we could trade with.
Surprise.
And they're pretty close, so that is very useful for us. Now, one thing that we want to have here as well is, well, the houses don't automatically get upgraded anymore. So that is something that we have to do manually. So let's...
You reached a new milestone.
Click a few of these buildings, because we're going to need more than a few.
Honest work, that's all we ask.
There we go. So, of course, upgrading these houses takes away from our farmers, but will give us more workers. And this unlocks a new set of buildings. Now, one of the things that is now unlocked is brickworks. So we need clay. For that we need 50 people to work there. And then we need another 25 to actually make the bricks. So 75 in total. We're not quite there yet. We need to upgrade a few more of these houses. Right, so this will be enough. And if we need any more farm buildings, of course, we would have to build more farmhouses to replace the ones we have just upgraded. But yeah, I remember seeing a clay deposit right there, and we have another one right there. So that is something we can work on, because this is like, it's not a need, but it's a construction material that we do need if we want to build some of the more advanced buildings. So we can create a dirt road from here, running to right about there. And I think it will be wise to not put the brick factory right there, but to have it somewhere over here. And we need a few more bits of timber to actually be able to make it, and there we go. It's available now. If you build it about halfway, then the travel time should be reduced, I hope. Because this guy needs about 30 seconds to create a bit of clay. And then it's going to be transported over here, and hopefully this market cart can go back and forth in about 30 seconds. I'm not going to time it, but it seems to me that this guy can reach this in about 15 seconds, and then he can make it back in 15 seconds to be ready to pick up the next bit of clay. That's a little bit over half. But if they have a surplus, this place will actually keep a surplus of about 4 clay. So if we have 2 clay here, it will pick up the 2 clay, bring it over here, and it should not be a problem. It should be absolutely fine. Now, another thing that we can make is a trade union, apparently. Masters of the craft improve nearby productivity from here. Ooh, that's interesting. Maintenance cost of 50. Construction cost requires 5 bricks and 25 timber, so that's quite a lot. But it doesn't actually require workers. Let's have a look. Improve nearby productivity. Yeah. So it's a worthwhile investment, to be sure. Let's have a look at our ship.
Attention for the Admiral.
Send it over there. We found another island, and again it's hops, fur abundance, and niter. And we discovered another island. Ah, here we go. Potatoes, hops, and red pepper fertility. It's a pretty small island though. But yeah. Now, I think we've reached about half an hour of playtime, so I'm going to be putting a cut in here, but please leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more, and I'll see you guys in whatever video I do next.